जयपुर वाया कोटा
कृपया ध्यान आपो अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
Lucknow Junction.
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವರೆ
Hyderabad Upachav Express পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন कृपया ध्यान दियो
Marcus Stoinis, you little beauty, where have you been? We missed you. Oh, this is some stylish way to check in. And to beat Chennai in Chennai, I'm sure makes that knock even sweeter, makes those 2 points on that win even sweeter because, well, no one's been able to do it this year. You can't beat Chennai in Chennai is what you were told, but hey, it needs an innings like this of 124 not out of 63 deliveries. It needs that to break into that fortress, yes, as they've done today in Lucknow. Geez, they go away with 2 points and so pumped at the end of the game, you could tell how much it meant to them. You're watching Cricbuzz Live. I'm Gaurav Kapur, with me Simon Doull and Adam Gilchrist. Gilly, geez, it meant a lot for them, didn't it?
Oh, yeah, you could see that jubilation at the end where they just ran on and trying to lift the big fella up. They could barely get him off the ground. He's such a big unit, but would have meant so much personally to Marcus Stoinis too. It's for a number of reasons, none the least 2 points. Bank those for your team.
Yeah.
But then we have spoken non-stop, haven't we? And we'll continue about who gets supporting passes for India.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of internationals that still don't know whether they're going to be in the World Cup. So that's a massive statement for him from on a personal front. But that was class. That was just trusting your game, knowing exactly your go-to options. Drawing bowlers into his zone a couple of times right at the end there, you know, coming around the wicket, the fizz, and just getting right into the slot zone for Stoinis. So he lured them in. There was so much at play there. It sort of just suddenly sprung to life, didn't it? Oh, here we go. Yeah, they'll just suffocate them. And yeah, no, absolutely brilliant.
It was the first 10 overs in both innings where really nothing much happened. And they were neck and neck when you see the first 10 overs of Chennai and Lucknow. And of course, Chennai accelerated in the back 10. And you know what Lucknow said? Oh, we're up for it, man. If your Gaikwad and Dubey can do it, we can get it done. Stoinis pretty much doing what Gaikwad did. And I think Dubey's role was outsourced to 2 people, a little Puran and bit to Huda.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they get 51, I think, of 21 balls between Puran and Huda.
Yeah.
So they did more than their part, the little cameos at that back end that you need to go along with a bloke who's just, I mean, we saw a great innings from, I called it, I thought it might have been the best innings of the tournament so far from Gaikwad. Didn't last long.
Yeah.
Didn't last long. Just seen a better one, I think, from Marcus Stoinis. The power, as Gilly said, drawing the bowlers. And we'll get to the bowling. I think there's a few things they got wrong and they weren't great in the field, which is un-Chennai-like, pretty poor in the field. And yes, damp conditions, wet outfield, not easy. But there was a couple of fairly average bits of fielding. Just some power hitting. And to take it deep. Put the bowlers under pressure and see what they've got. And in the end, it was Stoinis who had everything.
And we got to talk about Stoinis. Like, Stoinis has been up and down this batting order like a malfunctioning elevator, right? You just don't know. In fact, I remember the very first game where I think they forgot that he's there. And he's come at 8 sometimes. And you're scratching your head. But I don't think he's leaving number 3 after today.
That puts that to bed, doesn't it?
Yeah.
He can rest easy there now.
Yeah, we have state roadways buses up in the north.
Yeah.
Where you put your handkerchief on the seat for a friend and then it's that person's seat. He's put his handkerchief on number 3 today.
You bags it. That's what we used to say.
Yeah,
bags it.
I bags it.
Yeah. So, well done to all concerned. Well, the intention was there last game, but it was just the closing out of a run chase that I think Nicky P went in ahead of him. But yeah, they've obviously thought it through and given it some a great deal of thought. And as did he in that innings. Didn't panic, didn't show any. Looked very calm in chatting with his batting partners. Yeah. Almost derailed a little bit by Padakal going in there and just not having that fluency.
Yeah.
But that didn't slow Stoinis through that period. Although Padakal did chew up a few deliveries, it didn't stop Stoinis from doing what he had to do. So there's the impact player came in and didn't really live up to the name.
True.
At 13 off 19. But the couple of gentlemen below made up for that lost ground. So but that's one of the great IPL innings, I reckon. That's that's
Highest 100 in a chase.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think it's the highest 100 in a run chase.
And the highest
winning
total
chase,
in Chennai that has been chased.
Yeah.
Well, and as you mentioned, just in Chennai winning, and in any capacity, let alone to chase over 200 and be sort of on the back foot a little bit right up until the end.
Wow, it's really, I mean, he's really been absolutely brilliant and he got that help. But I know this is, we end up getting critical. It's a young player, but, you know, this game is such tight margins. We spoke about it in the comm box. We didn't understand that call of sending, you've got Nicholas Pooran on the bench. They do this. Why do they keep him on the bench?
I mean, I've said it a few times now. Use your resources before you resort to an impact player.
Yeah.
And the resources weren't used. Nicholas Pooran was still sitting there. Huda was still sitting there. Krunal Pandya. I would have. Look, it's worked out for Lucknow, but it might easily have not worked out for them. And if it hadn't, you're going to lump a lot on a young man's shoulders who's had a tough time of it. He's not in good form. And if you leave it till late, you've then got the option of a Gautam or someone like that who can actually hit the ball out of the park. So I've got to say, just continue to say, use your resources before you resort to that impact player, particularly in a chasing situation when runs are required. And you're throwing a young man in there who's out of form, out of nick, and I feel for him.
And out of position.
And out of position as well. Yeah. So you feel for Devdutt Padikkal because he really struggled. Yeah. And had Lucknow not got across the line, a lot of people would have been pointing the finger at him. So we have to give it a mention and talk about it because it wasn't the right decision. They'll be pretty happy now, Justin Langer and KL Rahul, but I think they will feel that wasn't the right decision.
Yeah, but the impact came from just one guy, the guy they sent at 3. We've been talking about that. Send him up in the power play, let him use that. And today, he made the best of that opportunity. And he is our Colour Plus performer of the day, Sport Your Style. Talking about Marcus Stoinis, of course. Just we'll have you, let you look at that. 13 fours and 6 sixes. Now, why I like that so much is that normally you see such big innings and the sixes are more than the fours. The fours are more than 2x this, so which means that he has played risk-free for a lot of it. He's found the gaps, he's known where to go and lulled bowlers into his kind of zone. Yeah,
I've actually always thought Marcus Stoinis either needs to open in T20 cricket or be at 6 and try to close innings out at the end. I've never really thought through that middle was his position, but he batted at 3 today, but he was in the first over. Yeah, he opened. So effectively opened. So it worked, I think, to his favour. And to your point, which is a great observation, is that field restrictions being up allows him to hit gaps. Yeah. He plays really nice cricket shots. He likes to hit cover drives, likes to flick that one through mid-wicket. Yeah. So he can reap the rewards of the field restrictions being in at the top of the order. He was spectacular today. I mean, he had to bowl 4 overs as well because Lucknow's bowling plans kind of went a little all over the place. So he bowled 4 overs. He gave away 49 on those. It must have been playing on his mind because he has made up for that adequately.
We've seen at times in the Big Bash with performances that you're just like, wow. Why do we not see more of this from Marcus? I remember being at Eden Park for a New Zealand-Australia game and a losing cause. I think he got 145 in a 50-over game. It was just phenomenal. Unbelievable striking. And you've seen glimpses of it over periods of time. And you know he's got the ability. There's no doubting he's got the ability. I agree. I think he's more than just a hitter. He is a genuine batter when given opportunities to do that. And, that was an absolute gem. I mean, some of the placement. And I think one of the big things, and we talked about it a little bit, is the conversations in the middle of the wicket. You're just saying, okay, this is what we're looking to do. This is where we're at. What's the bowler? You know he was quite calm in those conversations, and I think that was a big tick in the box of what he's gone through with his batting partners tonight. Yeah, he looked very comfortable despite the pressure, and just his innings had just a lot of colours. So Marcus Stoinis, our Colour Plus performer of the day, Sport Your Style. This is one that he's going to remember for a long time. It's one Lucknow will remember for a long time. But let's talk about the Chennai bowlers for a minute. And let's talk about their bowling plans, because this is something which is very strange. We don't talk about it much because they haven't given us much chance to talk about getting things strategically wrong, right? Chennai doesn't do that. No. Sorry, carry on. Yeah, well, I look at that and I think sometimes
maybe being, and we highlighted it at the innings break, didn't we?
Yeah.
I think 9 bowlers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sometimes being too spoilt for choice can mean, look at the top of the list. That bloke there will be going, oh, gee, I wouldn't have minded another crack there at some stage.
Yeah.
I reckon I've done my job pretty well. So it can be a bit tough to balance up. The spinners, just the 2 overs each, that we saw how heavily they were having to work that ball with the towel. The dew obviously came in, and that was always going to be challenging. But they mounted it up, built pressure up and up, but it was just at the end a bit of ill discipline and some wrong choices strategically, going around the wicket as a left armour.
I didn't get that.
And they weren't well supported in the field at the back end. There was at least 2 bonus, lots of 3 runs by letting what should be, 2 runs, what should have been a 2, getting through for a 4. Sloppy, and fine margins, as you say.
And today, even there was some of the bowling changes, like Patirana came and bowled 1, and then he didn't bowl another one, he got changed. And I remember Tushar Deshpande came and bowled that over. Suddenly, Patirana's over pressure, just a little bit released. So I think there was a few places where we were all looking, Yeah,
and I think that's the great point Gilly made about having too many options. Sometimes when you've only got 5, or maybe 6, and the 6th might be a genuine 6th bowling option. Sometimes those blokes that have got 5 just know they have to get the job done. And they know they have to get through their overs. Whereas you're almost looking around the field, I can pick one of 9. Who do I go to? Rather than knowing that you have to go to certain people. The round the wicket thing it baffles me. I mean, you've got an international quality bowler in the Fizz who decides to come around the wicket to a guy whose strength is generally straight down the ground or over mid-wicket. I mean, go across them, take pace off, wide Yorkers, you give up a wide or 2. In that situation, you can actually be prepared to bowl a wide or 2 if you're going full and across, set your field accordingly. Talk about it so much. What are the bowling coaches doing? And an international experienced bowler, what is he thinking coming around the wicket to a right-hander late in the game when all of his power is sort of in that line, really? It's in that V and that mid-wicket line, and you take that power away from him by going across, making him reach for it. It's so much harder to time the ball over a point, cover, and wideish long off than it is to just go straight down the ground. So he put pressure on, but they actually came into his arc, into his zone, I think, a bit too much.
That's where maybe the wicketkeeper, MS, might have been able to just give a bit of information, because from behind the stumps, you've got the perfect view of the angles. It's a game of angles, of just cutting down, restricting the room for a batter to force it through. So, I'm not sure what they'd spoken through about. We can only speculate on their philosophy or their tactics, but from behind the stumps, that would have just looked, okay, everything's going to be giving the batter, a right-handed batter, the ability to launch that way with power and conviction. Whereas if it's coming across there, as Dooley says, you're sort of reaching for it, and he might still hit you for 6 over cover, but he's got to get all of it. Whereas he can muscle it that way without really nailing it.
And why we're finding it even stranger is because in the pre-show and in the com box, we said Fizz is so good in the end because he'd come and bowl the cutters across the right-hander. He obviously didn't watch. He should have. He did not watch. Nobody from Chennai watched the com box or the pre-show. And that's just sloppy work from you guys, all right? We had it right there, your plan. But yes, jokes apart, I think some of those, you look at it. You look at it with a bit of a question mark. For example, Deepak Chair, they've not been good in the power play, not been getting wickets. He gets a wicket and he gets rewarded by not bowling.
And how often have we seen him bowl 3 in the power play? More often than not, when he's playing, he bowls 3 up front. He doesn't always bowl at the back end. And when you've got Patirana and the Fizz, I understand that. But surely he was allowed another over through the middle somewhere.
So I was looking at it. Let's see. So the over numbers that he bowled, I lost it on my Cricbuzz app. But there he is. He's bowled the first over. He's got the wicket obviously on the third ball. He bowls the third over. They don't bring him back on the 5th. And then they don't bowl him again, which means they've had to bowl Shardul in the 16th, who's gone for 20 runs. It probably was the over that turned the game. But at that time, I mean, that's not Deepak Chahar's strength. But the fact is that if you bowl him a third in the power play, you don't have this problem yet. You don't have that over left. Well, Chennai, you don't see them doing these errors. I think we may have been. It's maybe the first time we're talking about.
But it's good because when they do make an error, you've got to point it out. You've got to make. We talk about them like any other side. They don't change things around very often. They made a couple of changes in the last couple of games. One or two have worked, and it hasn't worked. They haven't been able to close it out tonight. After putting what we thought was probably slightly above par on the board. And having the opposition under all sorts of pressure.
And a really good power play for the bowling team.
Yeah, very good power play. So, they just haven't been able to get the job done. So, we've got to point it out.
Credit to Matthew Hayden. It was a dogfight.
Okay. Good.
A graceful dog. They weren't dirty scrappers in the dirt, were they?
I'll tell you what it was. We understood the term wrong. Right, because when those MiGs and fighter aircraft fight, that's also called a dogfight.
Correct. Right. Yeah.
It was at that altitude, at that speed, we just thought it's like some guys, because we think like that. Haydos was talking Top Gun.
Absolutely.
It was not Top Dog, it was Top Gun all the way. So that's the mistake we made. Yeah, it was a great power play. If you look at the comparison, the innings progression for both, it's quite strange because it's very similar, right? You got this 49 for Chennai, 45 for them, 36 and 38, 50 and 54. It's eerily similar to the point that the wickets are similar as well. It's almost like you have walked ahead, Simon Doull, in this fresh snow with your footprints there, and I have walked just on them.
It's the same thing, yeah.
It's exactly like that. So if there's a good template in front of you, why not follow it? But just Gilly talking about the CSK batting, I don't think they can take away anything. You can't take any credit away there because that was a very good batting effort. So today they look at that and say our bowling perhaps let us down, but their batting was spot on.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, we already highlighted the captain's innings, Gaikwad. That was high class, and just great to see him back up at the top. He won't shift from there, I wouldn't have thought, again in this tournament. And so then they've got to work out who they want with him. That might be the little question for them to try and work out. But it's they've got a lot of options, and again, it probably might have confused them a bit with ball. And because they got a few options, they can shuffle around in that batting order. They might be again spoilt for choice and not quite certain which way to go. So, but all in all, as Dooley said, we probably thought they were a little bit heavy in that total. They'd got a little bit too much, but it turned out it wasn't enough on the back of some majestic from Marcus Stoinis.
Yeah, and Marcus Stoinis and Nicholas Pooran, that partnership, in fact, we kept saying, where's Pooran? Bring him. This is why we were saying it, because this is what, we're seeing it as clear as day outside, right? He comes and we do it in the Hindi show a lot, saying कि वो घर से set होके आता, means he comes set from home. Right? When he plays the first ball, he's already set. I don't know how, right? So that's Nicholas Pooran. He's 34 of 15. The partnership is 70 of 34. Both of them have contributed, the same. Marcus Stoinis, probably a few more deliveries, but that's just how Pooran is. So that was a brilliant partnership there. Can I tell you another eerie similarity between the two innings? Both Ruturaj Gaikwad and Marcus Stoinis completed their hundreds on 17.4. The exact same delivery.
This is Twilight Zone stuff.
It really is. And I think Stoinis' 100 was 56 balls and Ruturaj was 54 balls.
Yeah, Ruturaj finished 108 of 60. Yeah. Stoinis finished 124 off 63.
Well, he really accelerated after his 100.
He's upped it after his 100, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So there's the telling stat. 3 more balls. So he scored, 18 more runs, 16 more runs, sorry.
But you saw him, you saw how he was. He hit the first ball for 6 in the last over. 17 is what they needed, and that immediately came down to 11, and 11 of 5 for a guy like him in the kind of form that he is was always going to be easy, not helped by a no ball. Can't bowl a no ball. Can't
Don't forget Deepak Hooda as well.
Yeah.
I mean, 17 off 6.
Yeah.
Crucial. Absolutely crucial at that stage of the game.
Yeah.
To come out and not have Stoinis having to do everything.
Yeah.
And got a hold of Patarana.
Yeah.
Who we thought, oh, gee.
This is the tough one.
They can get 12 off his over. We might get to that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the good thing is that, of course, it was Chennai. And MS finished it off in style. Marcus Stoinis, of course, this time. But Chennai fans need that. They need an MS to finish off in style. So maybe that's some solace or some comfort for Chennai fans. But you know, we've spoken about the whole game. We've not spoken about the guy with the best strike rate. 400. MS Dhoni.
It's going down a bit though.
Yeah. No, it was 255 before this.
Oh no,
Still,
I mean I'm still thinking of that one impact against Mumbai. He was going at 500 that day. So
that is true. Well done.
I'm with him.
He was at 500 today. He's 400, still not out. So that average is still infinity, not applicable, can't be divided. Sorry, go home. But yeah, that's what's happened. It's been a good game. It's been a really good game. It looked like it started off as a bit of a, everyone's kind of watching. It started off as one of those, high school prom dance parties where everyone's kind of looking, no one's dancing, music's a little soft. Geez, then it became a rager. Became a proper rager after that. 6 a.m, yo! All right, we had a lot of cool moments in this game in the hot heat humidity of Chennai. We'll look at some of them. This is our carrier room air conditioner's coolest moment of the match. And I'll start with Dooley. Which one was yours?
Oh, I can't. It's hard to pick one out. The whole match. Can we go with the whole match? It was a brilliant game of cricket. 2 magnificent hundreds. I find it hard to pick one moment of the match that I can sort of put my finger on and say that was unbelievable. As I say, 2 great hundreds, a couple of brilliant innings from Puran and from Shivam Dubey. We've seen an absolute blockbuster.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say the whole night was pretty cool.
Like it. I'll take it. We'll take that. You, Gilly?
Yeah, well, as you say, there was a template laid and then another one put straight down on top of it, or they sort of traced the template and went, look at that.
Yeah.
But we just had one tiny little bit to add to it at the bottom, and that was a few more runs off a few less deliveries. I do need to give a special... I'll go with the whole match too. I think the coolest moment, the coolest day in a hot climate down there, but I can't let it go by without giving KL Rahul's catch a little mention.
Oh yeah, good.
That was cool.
That was really good.
Yeah.
I think mine was second last delivery. Centurion and captain Ruturaj Gaikwad takes a single, which turns out to be the most applauded single in the history of his career for sure, because he puts MS Dhoni on strike for the last ball, who then obliges by hitting a 4.
I know that feeling. Steve Waugh was on 98 not out at the SCG with 2 balls left in the day's play. Crowd, Ashes Test, the crowd was packed. They were baying for him to get 100 before stumps.
Yeah.
There's 2 balls left in the day and I'm on strike.
Oh.
And I could just hear him screaming at me, get off strike, get off strike. I was on 46. I thought if I had a 4, I could get 50 and rest a bit easier overnight.
No.
But I managed to get off strike.
You got 1, and then
he then plummeled the next ball for 4 and got 100.
Through mid-wicket or something like that?
Through cover.
Through cover.
Yeah.
Through cover,
and
that's
the
right.
crowd, it was raucous. It was like grown men were crying and hugging and tuggers there. I ran past him and went for the big high five and he totally ignored me. Left me hanging. Check the YouTube footage of that. It'll be somewhere on Cricbuzz's app, I reckon. He left me hanging. I'm going, whoa. But, so well done to the captain today.
One little thing on that. He wasn't trying to get 1.
Yeah.
Like he was actually trying to.
No,
he was
wasn't.
trying to scoop it for 4. So for those who thought, he's just taking
they've
1.
lost
He's
it,
taking 1 and blah blah blah. He wasn't trying to get 1. It just so happened that he missed the scoop and it hit his pad and was only going to be 1. So don't.
Yeah, true. Don't crucify him.
Yeah, don't crucify him for the loss or anything silly like that.
That's right. Well, let's have a look at the messages that we've got. These are the coolest moments that you've sent in. It's Dubey's 666 of Yash's over was pure class. Okay, that's good. The mystical me has sent in that. J. In the era of rash 360-degree shots, drives played by Ruturaj today were class. Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah, it's very good driving. And another one from Akash Yadav. DRS might get it wrong at times, but never the Dhoni review system. Fair point. All right, so those were your cool moments. Those are our cool moments, and we'll keep sending those in. We, of course, tally them and bring them at the end of every game in our carrier room air conditioner's coolest moment of the match. Whoa, geez, I feel like I need to take a breath after that, After that game. Oh, it's crazy.
Have we seen the table?
Which one, though?
Not that one there.
And not our guessing game table, because
No.
everybody on the Hindi show and the
lost.
English show's got every guess wrong.
Nothing right today.
Because the total went above par, and Lucknow's power play score was below par. They were, 45, I think. And everybody's guesses only kicked in from more. So, yeah, we won't look at that table, but we'll look at the points table.
That's the one.
And see who is where.
Whee.
There you go. So, Lucknow has...
problem.
well, they're there, but the good thing is they've got 10 points. So, 8 games and 10 points. Chennai now looking at 4 and 4. So, they are tied with Gujarat. Gujarat, of course, has a chance to jump above them when they play tomorrow, because they're going to be playing Delhi tomorrow in Delhi. So, yeah, that'll be their chance. But there you go. They were right there, and they're still here. But just a little different. Just, as they say, sim, but different. That's what has happened. Lucknow will be very happy and well deserved. Well deserved, because we spoke about it before. It's kind of a team that goes below the radar, right? You don't get much razzmatazz. You don't think there's rock star stuff happening. Well, you can't say that today after watching Marcus Stoinis' innings. That was rock star stuff today. You can't say it after seeing Nicholas Pooran and Deepak Huda's cameos. So they've given you some rock star stuff. So really underestimate them at your own peril now, because they are definitely, Gilly, pushing for a top 2 position. They're solid contenders.
Yeah, they showed off another piece of their armoury that many may have felt wasn't there either anymore, or wasn't consistently showing itself. So that's just literally in the form of Marcus Stoinis, but certainly the cameo. Everyone knows what Nicky P can do. Imagine if he bats 40 balls, what he's going to do. But he's not needing to at the moment, and he's helping contribute to wins. But Deepak Huda, as you say. So some nice little bits of side play that show that, they've got every reason to feel quite confident heading into the last 6 games.
Yeah, a chase in 100, and we've discussed this a lot before, right? A chase in 100 will, of course, be great, but it's got to be helped by cameos. We saw that with Joss Butler, helped by a Robin Powell cameo. We've seen that today with Marcus Stoinis. You can't overhaul 200-plus targets all on your own, right? And that's exactly why I come back to Rohit Sharma's, right? Because there was just so much about it online. Again, didn't get that cameo with him.
Correct, and that was the big thing. Those, 51 off 21 balls between Pooran and Deepak Huda. That's what, that's better than 200 strike rate. That's what wins you games. If a guy is going at the other end, you just need those little scores off very few balls, and that's what gets you across the line. And as I say, Huda's innings, Deepak Huda's innings, was as important as Nicholas Pooran's innings today. And LSG have won it without a contribution from KL or Quinton de Kock, who they're getting contributions from at times. KL's been very good with his strike rate this season, so they've won a game without numbers 1 and 2 doing anything. Apart from a great catch. So,
Great catch.
so that's always a good sign when you've got different people stepping up to the plate and getting the job done for you, especially in tough conditions, in a place where very few teams go and win. That's a very, very good win.
It is a very special day for Lucknow fans, and I'm sure they're going to be celebrating. The Lucknow team will be celebrating for sure. And we, of course, will be looking at our next game, which is tomorrow. So it's Gujarat who are visiting Delhi. This is, of course, happening at the Kotla, the Arun Jaitley Stadium. And it rained today, by the way. There was a short, sharp storm in Delhi. So I think it's going to be blazing hot in the morning, so I'm sure whatever the rain did will be negated. But let's look at these two teams. GT, of course, will be buoyed after, their win in the last game. But when you look at the team here, what would you like to see? Would you like to see any changes, perhaps? I know we've been talking a lot about, foreign player. We've been talking about, do you want to get Kane Williamson in, perhaps? Because the top order, the middle order has been looking a little fragile. Do you maybe want to get Spencer Johnson in? What do you do? They've got a few options, not too many.
Their concern has been that batting, hasn't it?
Yeah.
The top order batting has been their concern. And they gave Kane Williamson 1 game. Was it 1 or 2 games he played, I think, earlier in the tournament?
Kane?
Yeah.
1.
1 game, was it?
Just played the 1 game against Lucknow in that chase where Bishnoi got in bowled and took him out.
So he's had 1 opportunity. I mean, do they want to shore up? If they do that, they've got to leave Omar Zai out, or do they have the stones to drop David Miller? who's been pretty much out of form.
Yeah.
So, do they go down that road? Having come off a win, you generally think that they don't change too much. So, I don't see it happening.
Yeah. He's played 2 games, my producer says he's played 2
Yeah, I
games.
thought
I
it was
remembered
2.
him in 1. Sorry, he's
Thought it
played
was
2
2.
games.
He got caught at backward point, I
Yeah.
think, in the other game.
Yeah, there's 2 games,
Yeah.
you're right. But again, Miller's just come back from injury.
Miller
He's
stays.
back in the team. Stays.
Yeah, he stays. He was a bit stiff against Delhi, and then just missed out. But you got to back him in and trust that he can get the motor running at some point. And what better place to do it on that ground, small ground?
Yeah.
Was a beautiful batting wicket on the first outing between SRH and DC. So you got to back him and his power game in there.
Yeah, and the Gujarat batting will look at this surface and say, this is definitely not an 89 all-out surface. We are not going 89 all-out against this team. Sometimes, but does this happen, Gilly? Sometimes when you have such a resounding loss against a team, the return fixture, do you kind of get buoyed almost a little more like we got to show them, we got to just a little bit of revenge?
I don't think so. No, I think you're trying your best to win every game,
Yeah.
no matter who it's against or where it is or on the back or whatever. But yeah, I don't. I think sometimes it can be good to have a quick turnaround, as it's proven to be for Lucknow.
Yeah.
They managed to get the double now against an opponent, so maybe you can carry a bit of momentum. So there might be a bit of psychological advantage there, but I don't think it makes you try any harder, particularly if you went down.
Okay, let's have a look at the Delhi team and see what they would do. Of course, their revelation has been Fraser McGurk at the top. It's been great fun watching him bat. I think the one thing that may have worried them in the last game, Dooley, was that Rishabh Pant did not look fluid at all.
No, he looked like he was struggling a touch, and that was always going to be the question: can he get through a whole season after coming back from that horrific accident? So that's going to be one to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
From a bowling point of view, they got plundered for 266 in the last game.
Yeah.
There's been Khalil's been a little bit expensive. Nortje hasn't quite been at his best.
Yeah.
Lalit Yadav got punished in the last game. So from that point of view, they might be looking at their bowling attack and thinking, is there anything we can do here to tweak that just a touch? But that's a bit of an issue for them, I think, is that bowling attack and the fact that they're sitting, right at the bottom end as well.
Give
let's
Williams
see.
a go, don't they? Try it.
Yeah, Lizard
Try it.
Williams.
Yeah, we look at the bowling again and see what they can do. Ishan didn't play that game, I remember. So there was no Ishan there. They've got Jai Richardson. They've got Lizard Williams. Yes.
Yeah.
So
maybe Nortje just has a break.
Yeah.
Give him a game off. Get Lizard Williams. See if it makes a difference.
Yeah.
I don't know that there's much else they do in that lineup, to be honest.
No, that's probably it. That's probably the call they take. David Warner will want to get some runs tomorrow.
Yeah, he'll be very keen to contribute, no doubt about it. He's missed out more often than not. Certainly lately had the injury to the hand. He had a couple of starts early, didn't he? And looked like he might be right, but he'll be looking to make an impact for sure. And I think they've got to get the toss right if they can win that toss, and then they conceded so much ground by bowling first, and then poor choices once they had ball in hand. We know the game was over in power play, really.
125.
Yeah.
That's done.
Yeah.
It's done.
It's a long road
joke.
back.
Yeah.
That's a joke. That's what Pommy Amangwa would say. You're being ridiculous. Being ridiculous. 125 in the power play. That's it. Game done. So you're probably looking at winning the toss and batting first tomorrow, whichever team.
If there's rain around, do you? I mean, you said there was a shower today. I mean, if there's rain around, or if it looks a bit iffy, you might not.
Yeah.
But I mean, if
Otherwise,
you
you
can bat first and put anything above 220, 230 on the board, you back yourself.
I think for them psychologically, it'd be a risky, unless there's rain and there's some really glaring reason to not do it. For them to win the toss and bowl, you'd be holding your breath because there's no reliability with ball in hand at all, and you're just mounting up piles of pressure on your batting team
Too much trauma.
Yeah, time after time to go out there and do it. So I'd be tempted to say, come on, let's take it for a spin first and see if we can just do the reverse to what teams have been doing to us.
Yeah, well, that's of course going to be tomorrow. We're going to see you here at 7 o'clock for that game. We just got a bit of business left, which is the Joy Factor question and answer. Let's show you that real quick. Today was just, it was about, is this Joy's neighbor? Who is Brandon? Brandon finished 5th in his chosen discipline at the Tokyo Olympics in 21. What record was his brother a part of in December last year? Brandon, who the is Brandon? Can we get the answer, please? Can we just bring it on? Thank you. Being the most expensive tournament. There you go. Brandon is Mitchell Stark's brother.
Big high jumper.
So he's a high jumper?
Yeah.
Well, Mitchell's a high jumper as well when he delivers the ball.
Yeah, well, he got down low to get a nice caught and bowl, didn't he?
He does high and low.
Yeah.
There's two kinds of jumps, which is why he gets paid all the big bucks. He gets all the jumps. Let's see who managed to do this high jump. These questions, the bar is high. Clint Francis, well done, man. Well done. Congratulations to you. You managed to clear it without, well done. Good job. There's not too many who got it right, so well done. One last piece I didn't ask you, player to watch out for both teams. So we'll start with you, Dooley.
I'll go with the Hair Bear.
Okay.
Saki Shaw.
Hair Bear.
The Hair Bear, four for in the last game. Thought he was really good.
I like it.
And on the flip side, when you go for 266 and one man bowls 4 overs, 1 for 28.
Yeah.
I think that's quite exceptional. So Akshar.
Excellent. Love it. So two left arm spinners.
Two left arm spinners.
So
I couldn't find any quicks that were going any good on either side.
Fair. You picked two left-handers yesterday as well.
Yeah.
You picked two left-handers yesterday as well. There's still some available. Let's see where you go.
Well, I've named one already that I want to see fire is David Miller.
Okay, there you go. Left-handed.
And then...
Go double Dave. Go on, double down on David.
Kuldeep.
David Warner, you think?
Yeah, go double down on Dave. Go on.
DD's everywhere. So David Warner and David Miller.
Oh, wow. Two Davids. Love it. Two Davids. We had that confusion today when Harsha Bogle messaged us and said Mitchell may play.
Yeah.
Darryl was signed. Just Ravindra may not.
Yeah.
Jadeja or Rachin? There's a lot of these namesakes here, man. What's going on? Okay, but, there's one place where there's no namesake. There's only one Gaurav. There's one Kapur. He's right at the top of this table. Say it again. There it is. There it is. That's our guessing game leaderboard. Gilly, there you go. You're tied with your dear friend Michael Vaughan. And I am sure you hate that.
The end of my stint. Well... I need him to come back, him to return and fail dismally. And then that'll allow me to just nudge ahead of him. But that's my best shot,
That's it.
Yeah, because this is your last day here with us. You head back home to Perth tomorrow.
Yep.
And I want to tell you, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on Cricbuzz Live. I say that not just as me, but on behalf of our entire crew here, all 17 people sitting here. And I'm sure on behalf of Dooley as well. It's been a real pleasure having you here, so thank you for being here. Would you like to say some nice words to all of us?
I'd love to. Thank you for your kind words, and to all of you, thank you for welcoming me in, accepting me to be a part of what is a remarkable team and a really fun, unique way to cover cricket. It's the first time at this and hopefully not my last. So, really have enjoyed it. Thank you for all the people out there watching and listening, and it's been a hoot.
Nice to see a Kiwi and an Aussie get along too, I think.
Yeah.
It's been good fun. Good fun having them here. So
a rare occurrence.
Yeah.
Rare occurrence, this. I should have just called the thing between your two chairs the Tasman Sea.
Hey, we've gone to war together.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, too right.
Thankfully, no, yeah. So
Yeah,
we're friends.
no more.
We're all friends here. The most important question I want to ask you, Gilly, before you go is, how was the food? Was the food all right?
Oh, mate,
F&B was okay?
Absolutely.
F on most days, B last night. So.
There was only one night, wasn't there, when Tattoo ordered it.
That's why he's on 11.38.
Yeah, that's
If
right.
you don't know Tattoo, just Google Tattoo.
Yeah, Tattoo.
It's from an old television show.
Yeah, no.
Fantasy Island, it was called.
Fought back after that. But, tremendous hospitality,
Excellent.
Absolutely first class.
Excellent, super. So, well, that's goodbye to Adam Gilchrist, of course, as part of Cricbuzz Live for the last couple of weeks. So it was great having him here. Just 5 stars on the app for the food, if you just keep it. I need to be on top of every chart. You see, that's me. I'm so competitive. So big thank you to Adam Gilchrist. Big thank you to Simon Doull. Thank you so much, gentlemen. We, of course, will be back here tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock. So do join us then. I'm Gaurav Kapur, wishing you good night and good luck. Bye-bye.
Jaipur via Kota.
कृपया ध्यान आपो अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವರೆ
Hyderabad Superfast Express পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন कृपया ध्यान दें